Hey everybody, it's Norm from Tested, and we're so excited to be once again joined by Mike Senna, robot builder extraordinaire, with BB-8 again. Yeah. But this is a little bit different BB-8. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Norm. Yeah, like you said, this is the different BB-8. I actually am working on this, have been working on this static model where it's kind of moving and doing its thing. I really think it's the ideal way to do it for a hobbyist at this point, so I just wanted to show how I did this.
I mean, for people who don't remember, you built one of the first fully completed, fully moving animated BB-8s in time for the movie's premiere back in last December. Yep. Since then, it's been a couple months. You're, of course, part of the BB-8 Builders Club. Everyone's building their own versions. And what made you want to decide to modify your BB-8 to make it static?
Well, I saw that a lot of people are struggling still with the drivetrain, and I am too. But what I was seeing was a lot of people wanted the BB-8 to come out. So we brought it to cons and things like that. Ideally, when I put it down the first time, it was in the moving one. Mm-hmm. And I kind of lost the head at one point in time, at least once at the con. So I was thinking, it'd be much better if I made him a static model, mm-hmm. and maybe put some automation in him and then controlled him with remote control. So what I found was that's exactly what the case was.
And that makes it more presentable as a display model or even at conventions. It's a lot like how they use BB-8 in the film, right? The special effects team had multiple versions. They had a version for close-ups, they had a puppeteer version with sticks. They never actually had a fully rolling one with the drivetrain until Celebration last year. So it makes a lot of sense to have different BB-8s for different purposes. Well, let's talk about what BB-8 can actually do. It's already alive right now, animating. So there seems to be an automatic mode where it just looks around and moves.
Correct. Okay. Yeah, so this is the mode you kind of want to maybe leave it if you're taking a break, or you just want to set it there and maybe walk around the con or do whatever you want, So this is what that mode is. If you're sitting in your living room and you're having a party or something, you could sit them on a table and move around.
What's its range of movement for the head?
The head could actually move all the way around, but of course, I don't even know when they would even do that. Mm-hmm. But and then I'll show you the range of movement with the when I take it off of auto mode.
Okay, so there's a full manual mode, of course.
So if I switch one of these switches over here in the back, so now it's going to stop moving in auto mode. Now I can control it. I can control the head left and right, and also do the wiggling of the head, forward, reverse, and left and right.
Wow.
And trigger the sounds along with it.
You definitely have some puppeteering going on.
So he can act excited, and he can do the yes.
Yeah.
And the no.
And it still comes very much alive. And, to be clear, this is a modified version of your free-moving BB-8, the one you built last December.
Correct.
So you took out the drivetrain, took out the guts, and redesigned it. Imagine you put a hole in it, and then had BB-8 put in a whole different system for the head.
Yeah, and that was a whole funny thing. And it was a coincidence, too, that I had made 2 extra of these triangular panels. So I've got They fit exactly on the top and the bottom. They were leftovers. They were like things that really didn't fit. But then I found they fit pretty well now at this point, which was just incredible. So I cut holes in them, which I'll show you, and we'll pull out the guts and take a look at how it works.
Oh, we're going to see the inside?
Absolutely, man.
Oh, finally, you've seen the inside of BB-8. Okay, let's take her apart and take a look inside.
Okay.
Wow, this is a naked BB-8. Mike.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry.
It's incredible to look at. So this is how the head moves, because that's the most important part of the static BB-8 is the head.
Yes.
So can you walk us through the assembly here? Because it looks a lot like that mass that was in the Sphero BB-8 that we took apart.
So what I think is really interesting in this is this rod here that goes, that holds the head up. So that's for, if you're in photo op mode again, if anybody knocks on the head, I mean, this thing's not going to go flying off. So I think that's the most important piece right there. What I haven't seen anywhere is this shaft running up into the middle of his head. See it bending right here?
Yeah.
Now this is two different shafts attached together by a spring. Now what that allows me to do is when the spring is moved in that fashion and I turn the head, it's kind of a bending elbow. Mm-hmm. So it's allowing spinning, but it's also allowing the head to be on one side.
It's a joint.
Yeah.
So you have freeform, like in terms of spinning the head, you have one motor that's just doing your rotational movement.
Correct, and it's the motor that's sitting on the base right here.
And then to get the tilting movement, you have
these
motors?
servos. These are big servos that I found on one of the websites that I visit. But I found these and they're incredibly powerful. See, these are number 10 by 32 screws. Number 10 screws are pretty thick. Mm-hmm. And I had it wired this some kind of crazy way and I was experimenting with it. And what happened was this entire mechanism just spun all the way around and it took the rod with it and it hit it up against one of these metal pieces and it just continued and it just snapped the rod. So that's what controls the head action going forward, reverse, and also left and right.
And can you explain how these rods are attached to the plate?
It's just a push rod that has a universal kind of joint here that when the disc moves here, it's pulling on the rod, of course, and this little plate that it's sitting on has a bearing in it, so it rotates freely on here. So when these are pushing, everything's given freedom of movement.
Yeah, the plate having a bearing for it to rotate freely, the spring itself being able to rotate freely while maintaining the strength to hold the two poles together and also have the elbow movement. That's what gives you both rotation and then also swiveling.
Correct. And it also, kids have grabbed the head and started spinning it around. But if you notice, the joint here also serves as relief for any mechanical torque or people that are trying to spin the head. The spring just takes all that. So when I turn it on to do auto mode, it needs a sensor to tell it where the center is. Mm-hmm. So if I turn the auto mode on, as you see how this moves, right here it knows its center. If I move it off, now it doesn't know its center anymore. So with any kind of auto system, when you turn it on, it has to know where center is.
Right.
So the first thing the circuit's going to do is find center. So it just did, it found center and then it came back. Well, the first time it went through, it clicked and then it continued moving. That's how it knows it's centered and which way it's facing. And you'll see that thing click on and off. And the program inside the microchips are telling it, hey, I was just center. If I want to move right, just move right a couple seconds.
Wow.
Move left a couple seconds.
I mean, it's a really beautiful and elegant mechanism. Now, the whole BB-8 Builders Club, the philosophy, people are sharing a lot of information. For example, the 3D printing designs, the files for putting your own head. Is this information for this mechanism something you're going to be putting online?
Yes and no. I don't like, I'm not the guy that designs stuff and then also puts the blueprints and stuff like that out. But I always welcome anybody from the clubs to come in and look at the pieces that I do, and then blueprint them, take down information of bill of materials and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I know there's going to be people that will want to do that, and I'm completely open to sharing this entire mechanism.
Awesome. And like you said, it's a really great solution for someone who wants to build a display model, whether for their home or for conventions. Now, you still want to build another, more perfected mechanism for a rolling BB-8. What's next?
Yeah, and I still haven't stopped on that, of course. So this just needed to be done. I just needed to get out and needed to do my thing with it. Needed to perfect it. I knew I was so close to this one, I didn't want to stop. So now this perfected, that's the way I can release it. Give my mind out, I guess, and get it off of my mind. So the next thing I'm going to do is work on my version 3 And then, yeah, this is the ball I'm going to be using for the version 3. As we've been told by the great minds, you know, Matt Denton and Josh Lee, you need a completely smooth dome. So the one that I've been using has, you know, these panels, and they're not perfect. So on which each little crack, it's going to rock. So with this, it's going to be completely smoothed out, probably painted on, or using the club's vinyl decals. But even though I put the vinyl decals on, I'm still going to spray it with something that I sprayed with this. It's the clear, I believe we went over that before. It's the 2-part clear coat that I'll spray on there, and I think that will protect the vinyl.
All right, well, we can't wait to see your next version, your next BB-8. I love that it's like just with R2s and the Wallies, just because you have one built doesn't mean the project stops. And there's plenty more information. We have your website listed below where people can follow along with your projects. Thank you so much, Mike, for sharing with this new project. It's amazing to finally see the inside of one.
Yeah, I'm excited to show this thing, and I'll be excited to show when it's rolling as well.
And hopefully you'll be able to make it out there to a convention based in Southern California or maybe around the country where we'll be able to see Mike's robots. Until then, I'm Norm, it's Mike Senna. We'll see you next time.